Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, with another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And that done is the creation of a brand new book by January 1st of 2021. And the way I'm doing it is by doing a 301 consecutive day live stream every single night, with the exception of 2 where I was sick, from Friday, March 5th, all the way to December 31st, 2020. And actually, I'm going to go live the next day on day 302 to upload the press-ready PDF files to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where I will be self-publishing a brand new book whose cover you've already seen. Yep, that's what it looks like. It's called NONFICTION BRAND, Discover, Craft, and Communicate the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. Yeah, and I'm doing it by coming down here and working on it every single night. And so that's what I'm here for. What am I going to do tonight? I think I'm going to do some writing. Some nights I do some editing, designing, outlining, and mind mapping. Tonight, I think I'm going to keep writing a section that I started about a guy named Christian Small, who was actually the interview in this week's episode of the Nonfiction Brand podcast. So you can check that out. It just came out today, and it features a golf pro from Sydney, Australia named Christian Small. And he's got a really interesting story to tell that really inspired me in ways that you shall soon discover. But I'm going to take you on over to Scrivener, which is the application I'm actually writing this book in. And here it is. Here's the main window where you do the actual writing. And then over here is your chapters, sections, whatever you want to call them. Well, I'm already in the section where I'm writing about Christian, so I'm going to keep writing. He didn't qualify, but he sure won. He sure won. All right, so this is talking about him. Before we go any further into Christian's story, we should probably answer a question you might have about his 191-day adventure. Did he qualify to compete in the Australian Open? Hold on just 1 second while I check to see if I am streaming on Facebook, and I am, which means if you are watching on Facebook and have any questions or just want to say hi, all you have to do is type in the comment box. And in fact, you can do it wherever you're seeing this, because it's going to Twitch, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live at the same time. So if you have any questions, just want to say hi, whatever, just type them in the comment box, hit return, and if I've got everything configured correctly, I should be able to respond and engage with your comment. And I'd sure like to know if you're watching. Anyway, so did he qualify to compete in the Australian Open? Sadly, the answer is no. No, comma, but that hardly matters in my opinion, because this incredible, because by completing this incredible quest, Christian won big. And apparently, I'm not the only one who thinks so. As he tells the story in episode 108 of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, there were quite a few people who enjoyed coming along on his journey and were inspired to do some of the things they've long wanted to do. And they've long wanted to do by his completely true journey example. And completely Christian. I'm going to say completely authentic. Christian example. One, perhaps the most impressive and unexpected example of his impact came in the form of a check. Here's Christian telling the story in the podcast. All right, so here's the problem. I have not edited this second episode with Christian. I know he talked about it. I remember talking about it when we did the podcast session, but I have not edited it, and I certainly have not transcribed it or had Descript.com transcribe it. So I'm going to have to hold this and actually make note, insert, check story, transcript here. And that's just a note for me to remember that. But wait, it gets even better. What is that? 5. In this story, So Christians, Australian Open adventure took place throughout 2019 and ended in December of that year, when he unfortunately did not qualify after a quest of that magnitude. He did what anyone would do. Take some time off and just in time for COVID-19. Global pandemic of global 19. Christian, like so many others, things had to change drastically for Christian and his family, with small children to home school. He left his job at the golf teaching. He left his job to keep things rolling at home, to keep things rolling at home, to keep things moving at home. Sorry, you don't need to watch me as I mumble aloud. Keep things rolling at home. And did a little and dialed back his activity online, on social, quite a bit. But here's the thing I dearly love about this personal brand building story. All the work he put in throughout 2019 continued to pay off in 2020, even during a pandemic that left him housebound. Housebound. Is that all one word? Shall we look it up? Dictionary. Dictionary app. Housebound. Housebound, all one word. There we go. When in doubt, check it out. And so I have, and am increasingly confident about that. That left him housebound. How? Because he had done such a good job demonstrating who he is, what he does, and how he does it, comma, Christian attracted some industry attention from those who appreciated just how different his premium personal brand was from that of other commodity golf teaching professionals. Put yourself in his golf shoes the day he was contacted by a top Sydney golf club that in spite of the fact that COVID-19 golf club someone there who evidently had major pull had seen at least some of the work he'd done during his 191-day adventure and was impressed enough to reach out to see if he'd be interested in working with them in any capacity, or in any capacity, and based on the time he could allot for them. In other words, comma, come work for us on your terms. Yes, you heard that. You read that. You read that correctly. Christian. Christian did not have to apply for the job. Out and apply for the job. They came to him with an offer. He could hardly refuse in the middle of a global pandemic. That is the power of personal branding. They come to you because they know and prefer. They know exactly who you are, what you do, how you do it, and how you're different than anybody out there. Anybody else. What you do out there. Christian demonstrated via all of that, via the always on media channels of Facebook and Instagram. It cost him his time. What did it give him? The accountability kick in the pants. He needed. What did it cost him? His time. What did it give him? The accountability kick in the pants he needed. Why did it work? Because he shared authentically, at times painfully, everything it took to get ready to qualify for the Australian Open, and in losing, he won. And in losing, he won. Oh, how he won. And in losing. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah. Something like that. And in losing, he won. I don't like that. Put and in losing, he didn't. To get ready to qualify for the, and losing. He didn't qualify. But he didn't qualify. But he sure didn't lose. He sure didn't, but he sure didn't lose. By doing what he did, the way he did it, comma, he proved himself to be the he is. How about that? How about we center this, we give it bold, italic, and center. He didn't qualify, but he sure didn't lose. By doing what he did the way he did it, he proved himself to be the winner he is. All right. Oh, that's Hallmarkian. I love it. Yeah, so I'm cool with that. We're right at about half an hour in on this, so 1,600 words, that's good. So that'd be 4 pages, 5 pages maybe. At 300 words a page, 5 pages and change, plus his photo, that'd bring it to 6. That's a 6-page section. I'm cool with that. You cool with that? Yeah, we're cool with that. Why wouldn't we be cool with that? Because that's 6 more pages in the books. Let's do a word count here. So one of the cool things that Scrivener does is it keeps a running tally on words here. So on this page, which is just a brief bio of me, oh, look at me. I need to resize that photo for sure. Right, this page is 144 words, which you can see down here at the bottom. And if you click on it, it'll show you even more information about average paragraph length, average sentence length, and all that stuff. Well, if I go over here, you can't see it, but let's see. I'll go from up here, from title page, hit the shift key, all the way to bio. It's now going to recalculate how many words are actually written in the book right now. And there are 48,616 words. I'm pulling out my calculator because I don't want to get this wrong. And I am slow. I am math challenged. So that's 48,616 divided by 300 words per page, more or less. That's 162 pages as is. But actually, when this recompiles, or when the book is compiled and I take it over into Word, that's going to be more like 225 pages, maybe even more. So I'm really kind of interested. And in fact, I'm going to compile this right now. So here, I'll show you how to do this. In Scrivener, right now it's laid out just in, Scrivener, whatever. The formatting is not totally figured out yet. But if I go to Scrivener, here we go, and go down here to compile, this takes probably 3 or 4 minutes. It's going to allow me to compile it as a 6:9 paperback, because it'll figure the margins correctly and do the pages correctly and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and compile that. Do it to the desktop. I've compiled this a couple of times. So I'm going to call this compile. What is this? 9.7. Export. And this will take a while to compile, because it's got to chew through all the pages and figure out all the margins and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to see how many pages this is, but this will take a minute. Yeah. So I just get to stare at you guys for a while. What more can I tell you? Okay, I get the whirling beach ball of death, indicating that it's really going to take a second. But I do want to see how many pages this turns out to be, because the next step after I've written everything is I'm going to port it over to Microsoft Word and do the final formatting there, because Word has better grammar and spell checking, I think, than Scrivener. It also allows me to resize photos and everything else like that in a way that I know will work when I create the final press-ready PDF for uploading to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing Space. So that's kind of the next step once the entire book is written, which it isn't yet. There's still plenty of sections I haven't touched at all yet. You may have noticed earlier that I have color coding of the sections in colored flags. I got a fruit fly in here. And I've got a lot of red flags, meaning that I haven't written those sections at all yet. So here I can actually, well, maybe I can show you. No, I can't show you. Well, I can show you a little bit. So you see over here all the green flags, blue flags, and then a red flag down here. The red flag means I know I want to write about it, but I haven't written anything about that specific subject yet. And let me tell you, there are a ton of red flag sections left to go. So that's one of the reasons I have to figure out how many pages I've got going, because I want this book to be about 250 pages. My first book, which you can see right here, Rotoma, the ROI of Social Media Top of Mind, which I wrote with Spencer X. Smith, is a nice size book, but it's 214 pages, maybe 216. Yeah, what is that? 213, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 216 pages. I want the next book to be about 250 pages, maybe 275 tops. I'm thinking that I may be close to 250 right now with a whole lot of sections left to go. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. And that's why I'm checking to see how many pages I actually have in this book so far. Because the good news is if I overwrite, I can go through and find some weaker sections and just get rid of them or save them for later, or maybe a second book, you know, because that's one of the things when you write a book, half the time you're writing the book you're writing, you're also writing the next book you're going to write, because you're creating stuff that you know maybe isn't right for this book, but boy, it'll be great in a new book based kind of like a sibling. And I think there's plenty of material in here that's certainly going to turn into that. So who knows? Maybe, knock on wood, maybe I'll have fodder for a new book to work on after this one is done. So let me hold on. PDF. No, it's not PDFs. Documents. Here we go. .1, 13.2. Come on, I want to see the full name. Nope. 826. Okay, nice. Here we go. So now I'm opening up Word. And here's Word, and it's got to do its thinking, and you'll see the numbers down here go crazy. This is telling me, oh, it's doing a rough count on words. 50,000 words it thinks I've got. I don't think it's that high. But look at that page number go up. Is it stopping at 235? And a lot of these pages need to be reformatted. And stuff like that. But let's say, okay, so let's say I'm at 235 pages right now of a 250 page book. That means I've got 15 pages left to go. I don't think so. I think I've got a whole lot more pages than that. So I may need to think about condensing things down a little bit, because one of the things about books like this is there's an economy involved where you have to have a minimum number of pages to make it worthwhile, and there's probably a maximum too, because when you buy a book via Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, the book does not exist. A print order goes in, and they create one-of-a-kind print that they drop ship to you. And so consequently, this book, which is priced at $20.95, costs $5 to print and ship, meaning that Spencer and I, in this case, split $15 between us as co-authors. As a solo author on this new book, I'll be getting that $15. So, and I can't really price it any higher than, well, I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to price it any higher than $20.95. But the more pages you put in the book, the more it costs to print that book. So if this book at 214 pages is $20 or $5 to print and ship, this book might be $6, in which case I'm losing $1 of, you know, the more pages I print, the less profit or royalty I get from it. So there's a balance here. And frankly, business books too. A 500-page business book, no one's going to read it. 300-page, that's pretty damn lengthy. But 250, that's nice and hefty, but it's still doable. So that's what I'm aiming for. And so that's what I'm going to do. Now, what am I going to do tomorrow? Well, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm keep coming down here and working on the book, because that's my 301-day journey. So you've seen me writing about Christian Small's 191-day journey. Well, I was so inspired by that I decided on March 5th, Friday of 2020, that I would do the same thing, but get a new book done by the end of the year. And that happened to be 301 days a year away. So anyway, thank you, Christian Small, for inspiring me to do this crazy thing. And thank you for helping be my accountability police and coming here every night and kicking me in the butt to make sure I actually work on this thing. Because that's how it's going to get done, with your help and with his inspiration. So that's it for me tonight. I'm DP Knudten of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, and I would love to invite you to pick up this today's episode, which premiered today. It's all about Christian Small. It's the first half of 2 episodes featuring Christian Small, and it tells part of the story that I took you through today. And you can get it wherever you get your podcast for free. Just search Nonfiction Brand, and you'll be looking at my smiling face in black and white, and you'll know it's the right place. So that's it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, theme music. Take us on out. I'll see you tomorrow.